Hi there, it's Sana. Welcome back to my channel. I know it's been a minute. I kind of missed the last 2 weeks because I was having a lot going on with my mental health, but I'm hopefully back now for the time being. This pandemic thing is kind of getting to me, so I am filming this fun new video to celebrate me being back. Yay! Very excited about it. So without further ado, let's dive into it. So, I completely and utterly failed my May reading goals. I wanted to participate in 2 readathons and I did not win either of them. So what I decided to do was, because I was really excited for this before, I decided that this month, in June, next month, depends when this goes up, in June, I am going to participate in the Olympic Games readathon. It is a super cool readathon put together by a group of wonderful ladies here on YouTube, and it is basically a game that kind of uses the Percy Jackson format and Greek mythology to inspire reading prompts, and you get to collect points for your cabin for every book you read, and then whoever has the most points at the end wins the Olympic Games. Yeah, so it's really exciting for me. I heard about this through the Wild Sasha. I love her channel. She's like the sweetest person ever. Every time I leave a comment, she replies, and she's just delightful to watch. She's a little bean. She's House Hades. She's Cabin Hades. So, and she's also helping run it. So if you're interested, I will have links down to the original post and the original creator and to the Wild Sasha's announcement video and TBR down below, because I highly recommend you watch both of them. So without further ado, let's dive into my plans for the Olympic Games. If you couldn't tell, Vogue, I chose to be in Cabin Aphrodite, mostly because it was between her and Aries, and I fit more of her prompts book-wise. So yeah, let's get into what my TBR is and what the Olympic Games entails. So for each cabin, you get 5 basic prompts, and then you get 3-ish additional prompts as well. So for the 5 basic prompts of Aphrodite cabin, it was romance, a strong female heroine. Sorry, I'm reading off of my laptop right now because I can't remember all of them. A pretty cover, a classic, and a book you don't know a lot about. Okay, and then the additional 3 prompts fall under camp activities from Percy Jackson. So for Aphrodite, there's Archery, Pegasus riding, and Canoeing. So the Archery one is a book less than 200 pages. Canoeing is a blue book, and Pegasus riding is... Alright, so let's get into my TBR. So I have some books here, some of my BBs that I will be showing you today. All of the other books are on my Nook, so I won't have them, but I will be saying the names so you can look them up, and all of my books that I'm reading will be down in the description below as well, in case you wanted to buddy read any of those with me, and we could talk about it afterwards in the comments. I would love to do that with you. Alright, so the first prompt, romance. For the romance category, I will be finally reading my ARC edition of Serpent and Dove. I know, it's an ARC, I haven't read it yet. I know it's actually, I was not the person who got this ARC from work first. I borrowed it from my friend Chelsea at work, and yeah, so I'm going to finally read it. It is a romance book about a witch falling in love with a witch hunter. Like, they're forced to get married and then they fall in love. I don't know. It's enemies to lovers, and I love that, so hopefully I like this book. Okay, next we have a book with a strong female heroine as the main character. And for that, I chose Red Sister. I don't know a lot about this book. I know that it is about sword-wielding nuns, and that's all I want to know. I purposefully have not looked up any spoilers or reviews for this book because I wanted to go into it blind, but a lot of my favorite booktubers have loved it, so I thought I would pick it up. So I bought it, and it's now on my Nook, so that's why you're not seeing it here in my hands, but I look forward to reading it for this prompt because I hear that the main character is a badass. And then there's a book that you chose because it has a beautiful cover. Now, for this prompt, I couldn't go with any book except All the Stars and Teeth by Adalyn Grace. This book is gorgeous. I don't know if you see it, but it's so pretty. It's just so pretty. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I chose it basically because the cover's pretty, and also it has pirates in it. And I love pirates. I have an obsession with pirates. I know so much about pirates. It's useless knowledge, but I have it now, so I'm really excited to read this book. I think it's about a princess who runs away and becomes a pirate, maybe? I'm not sure. I go into my books pretty blind, so I know that this has something to do with magic. There are pirates, there are mermaids probably, I think. Yes, mermaids. It says mermaid on the back. There are pirates, there are mermaids, there's a princess. I don't know. It has pirates and mermaids. That was enough to sell me. The next book category challenge is a classic novel. So I wasn't really sure what I wanted to pick for this one yet because I'm really picky about classics. I just know that I have to pick a short one because when I read long classics, I stop right in the middle, literally every single time, and I wait like 4 months and then pick it up again. I don't know why. I've tried to not do this, but it always ends up being that way. So I decided that I was either going to read The Picture of Dorian Gray by Oscar Wilde because I have never actually finished that book. I stopped halfway and never picked it up again. So I either decided that I was going to read that or I would read a few, like half of my short story collection by Franz Kafka because I love Franz Kafka so much. My favorite short story of all time is The Hunger Artist. I recommend you look it up. But yeah, so I decided to either do one of those, but then me and my mom started rewatching The Medici on Netflix, which is one of my favorite shows of all time. I stand by it. But the new season just dropped, so we started watching the new season last night, and I dug out my old copy of The Prince by Machiavelli, so I might reread that for this prompt. It depends on my mood, but I will get back to you on that one. And then there's a book I don't know a lot about. So I literally don't know anything about this book except that it's about a siren queen, I think, and it's called To Kill a Kingdom. I know it's an indie author, I believe. I think I follow her, or I came across her on Instagram and decided that I wanted to read her book. And I literally want to go into it blind because I heard that it has a siren queen in it, and that's all I really wanted to know. But from the reviews I've seen, I've skimmed, I think it's like a dark fantasy sort of thing, and I want to go into it blind, but I also want to support an indie author, and I think it looks really neat. I will have the author's name down below. I don't remember it off the top of my head, but the title is To Kill a Kingdom, and I just downloaded it. I'm really excited to read it. It's taking everything in me not to pick it up right now. All right, and on to our camp activities. So Archery is my first one for Camp Aphrodite, and that's a book under 200 pages, and I literally don't own another book under 200 pages except this one that I haven't read yet. And I wanted to take books off of my TBR as much as I could for this, so I decided that I was going to read The Deep by Rivers Soloman. It is a short novel. It's only this big, it's very small. And from what I understand, it deals with mermaids who are the descendants of slave women who were thrown overboard off of slave ships with their legs tied together, and they evolved into mermaids. And it's mostly about intergenerational trauma, and it's about people descended from slaves. So I thought it would be a really interesting read. I've been kind of putting it off because my anxiety and depression and PTSD have been acting up, so I didn't want to read it while I was in that state of mind, but I'm feeling a little bit better, and I'm in a reading mood, and I'm obviously in a mermaid mood. Like, I have like 8 books on this list that have mermaids in them, but yeah, so I decided I was going to finally pick up The Deep, and I think I'll really like it, because, I don't know, it all sounds very interesting, right? Okay, so the next one I have is for the canoeing category, and that is a book with a blue cover, in case you don't remember, and I chose to choose The House of Salt and Sorrow. It's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and I have myself have written at least 3 renditions of a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and this one's really dark, I hear. So I'm going into it blind. I don't know more than that. If you haven't noticed, that's how I like to go into my books, not knowing a lot. But yeah, so it's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, and I hear it's really super dark, and that's all I needed to be sold on it, because I love the 12 Dancing Princesses story. One of my favorite books from my childhood to reread for nostalgia purposes is Entwined. It's a 12 Dancing Princesses retelling, but it's really magical and sweet, and I love it so much. So I'm just really excited to see what this one's all about, and I've been holding off to read it for this explicit purpose. So I'm really excited to pick it up. And the last book that I have on this list for Pegasus writing is a book that was published in the last 5 years. So I challenged myself to choose one of the arcs that I have for this because I am pretty bad at reading arcs because I'll be caught up in other books and then I'll forget I have them and then the book will come out. So it's a whole thing. But this one I got really excited about when I saw it at work and picked up the arc. And yeah, so this book for the Pegasus writing category is Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. I did start reading this book, as you can tell from my dog-eared page right here. I don't know if I can find it. This guy. And yes, I do dog-ear my pages. I'm that person. Sorry about it. I couldn't find a bookmark. I was at school. It was a whole thing. So yeah, Chain of Gold by Cassandra Clare. So my journey with Cassandra Clare of late has been a love-hate one. I love the Shadowhunter series for nostalgia purposes. I know it's not great. I love the Infernal Devices series. It stands up. I stand by it. I'll argue this till the day I die. It's the best one. And I hated the Dark Artifices series. I didn't like it. I literally read a book and a half of it and was so bored by all of it that I just couldn't justify buying the last one. I just couldn't put up with it anymore. Yeah, so I decided that I was going to challenge myself for this one and I was going to read this huge book and see if I liked it. I started reading it and got bored. I actually made it quite a bit through, actually. Yeah, I don't know, you know? So we'll see if I like it. If I don't, I will keep you guys posted on that. That is the end of my Olympic Games TBR. I am so excited to participate in this. You don't even know. Percy Jackson was my life in like middle school. I was really late reading them because I didn't think they would live up to the Greek myths that I grew up with. I was that kid who just like loved Greek mythology. I was reading the Odyssey before I read Percy Jackson, so I considered rereading the Odyssey for my classic one. I also might still do that, who knows. But anyway, and it'll be a ton of fun. I actually got one of my friends, one of my best friends of my whole life. We've been friends for like 13 years now. It's insane. Like so long. We've been friends for so long now. My friend Katie is doing this with me and she's in Hephaestus. I can't speak. She's in the Hephaestus cabin. I still can't speak. I just bit my lip. It's a whole thing. I'm in distress. So anyway, she's in the Hephaestus cab. Why am I stumbling on this? She's in the Hephaestus cabin. So if you want to join her over there or any of the other cabins, I will just be so happy to see all of you participating. Thank you for watching my video. I am so excited to be doing this. I will see you guys on the battlefields. And yeah, if you have any questions, comments, concerns, debates, fears, anxieties, bad stuff, issues, complaints, or irritations, leave them down in the comment section down below and we'll talk about it, you know? If you've read any of the books that I brought up today, tell me in the comment section down below and we can talk about it because I'm really excited to read all of these. Yeah, hit all the buttons and I will see you guys next time.